What is up, Super Fam? I am Sensei Finito, and this is Battery CEO. Welcome to Marvel Bros, where we discuss all things Marvel and everything pop culture. Battery, what's on the agenda today for the Super Fam?
Well, today we're going to be talking about episode 1 of Miss Marvel. This is our review and discussion for that episode. And I got to say, I was pleasantly surprised from
Oh
this
yeah,
episode. Definitely not what I expected, but better than what I expected in a way. I don't even know what I was expecting, but it wasn't what we got. How
yeah.
were you feeling about after watching, man?
I had a wonderful time with this show. I felt like it was such a breath of fresh air to what we've had so far with all these other shows. Like just in this first episode, it's been pretty much better than a lot of the other stuff that we've got from these Disney Plus shows in the
Mhm.
terms of connecting to what's actually already going on, giving us a little bit more depth in not only the MCU but overall world building. It answered a lot of questions for us just within that first
Mhm.
episode. And I didn't even expect for her to get her powers in the first episode, to be
Yeah.
completely honest. So it was just a lot of surprises like that that just left me happy with the overall product that we had in the end. Um, I don't think there was like I did have a couple of issues going in, well, not going in, but while watching it there was definitely some like decisions to like use green screen for no reason. I think like when they were in the car at one point driving, like you can clearly see out the window that it is not real, and it was like, why did they choose to do that? I don't understand. It was a very interesting choice. But there wasn't a lot of bad CGI in this though. Like
Mhm.
the way the graffiti looked on the walls, like everything was really nicely done. Like everything was like impeccable. When she was talking about all the different variants of Captain Marvel mixed with the different ones, and you can see like the bat, like Black Panther. I mean,
Yeah.
with the Iron, well, not with the Iron Man. I mean, with the Captain Marvel helmet on, everything looked good. I had such a, it was just so different than what I thought it was
Yeah.
gonna be, man. Like, uh, what what was one of your biggest concerns going in? I guess you can say,
I thought it was gonna be absolute garbage all around. If
yeah.
I'm being honest. If I'm being honest, like at first I was really excited about it, and then we started learning more and more details about it.
Hmm.
And then after watching Hawkeye, we are like, "Damn, they're really gonna drop the ball if this is what they're gonna do with Hawkeye." But watching it, I feel like they did Kate, like they
They did
did
her
with
dirty, right?
Kamala. They did Kamala right compared to what they did with Kate Bishop. Like the things they
Yeah,
did with Kate Bishop just didn't feel like uh I could connect with Kate like I could connect with Kamal. You know, like it was just
yeah.
the things that they did character wise were just more relatable for me. Um,
Hmm.
I think the color schemes that we see throughout the episode were great. Um, the way they utilized artwork and murals that come to life as she's explaining stuff was pretty cool as well.
Yeah.
And like you said, yeah, like this is the most world building we've ever gotten in any MCU project. Like honestly, like we got a whole
It was
breakdown as to
mind
what
blowing to
happened
be.
in Endgame. We learned about
Yeah.
more stuff about Captain Marvel. Like no one knows what she's been up to. You
Mhm.
know,
And,
just
and not only that, but when it comes to Endgame, but we also learned that everything that happened with Endgame is basically full blown public knowledge. Like
yeah,
it's not like a, oh my gosh, how did that? Because that was a big thing that I saw a lot of people complaining about in Doctor Strange was when the other doctor comes and sits next to him in the church and is like, yo, was it really the only way? And people were like, how does he even know the events of Endgame? But we
yeah,
clearly saw in Spider-Man No Way Home and other movies like that, like there's been full-blown documentaries about the snap and what's happened. So everything is public knowledge. And Kamala Khan has just kind of solidified it a little bit more and letting us know
hmm,
how much depth there is of the knowledge when it comes to
yeah,
the entire MCU. Like, and then we also learned that my man Ant-Man has a podcast where he's basically talked
yeah.
about even more things about the events that's happened. So we don't even know all of the stuff that could be public knowledge right
There was
now, right?
even someone that was dressed as Drax. I don't even know how they know about Drax because he's never came to Earth.
Yeah.
but people know about Drax. So
He
like
was
that was pretty cool to see.
he was an in game.
Oh, you're right. You're right. He was there
So
at the end though.
yeah, so Ant-Man would have at least seen him if anything.
Yeah.
And people were like, someone talked about Rocket at some point. I think there was like Rocket pictures and stuff as well.
Oh yeah. There was all kinds of stuff, man. It
There
was
was
pretty cool.
like a dude sitting at a booth at the Avenger Con that had a Star Lord books, but it was called Star Boy. Like there was just a
Hmm.
whole bunch of just Easter eggs everywhere. And let's
Hmm.
talk about Avenger Con for a second. Like I wish that was a real thing.
Hey, that
Like
sounds
that
like
was
I wouldn't doubt this is just a test screen for them to like, you know what? Let's see
really
how
do
people
it.
feel about Avenger Con. I think
Yeah.
that'd be pretty cool. I mean, obviously we saw how it looked in uh Marvel's Avengers.
That's what I was
It
about
was
to say as
incredible.
well. And you could definitely
Obviously,
tell that they took inspiration from that for
yeah.
sure. With it being
With
Miss
that
Marvel as
said,
well.
this Avenger Con is way more doable and relatable to
Hmm.
us. Like that's something I could literally see like be available to us. Avenger Con in that
Yeah.
game was just so futuristic that we're just not even technically there, you know. But like I
Yeah,
could
that's
definitely
that.
see,
That was what was it called? Avengers Day or something like that.
yeah. So uh I was that got me excited when I was watching this, man.
Hmm.
And then the bracelet, I thought that was
Mm,
pretty cool. How that kind of unfolded as it was. I don't know. Maybe her grandmother used to have powers
that's
back
what
in
it
the
kind
day.
of seemed like,
It
and her
kind of felt
grandmother
like it.
passed it down, and the mom didn't want that
Yeah,
mantle,
the
and
mom
then
knew something, right?
yeah,
Like not the
Kamala
little
was like,
okay,
I mean, her mom
you
was like,
know,
"Hey, yo,
she was
no,
tripping.
give
Like,
me that immediately!"
yeah,
Like,
the way she looked at her, like,
uh, and that
what?
actually made me
No,
feel like in the next episode that we get, we're going to see like when Kamala has the bracelet on, the mom is gonna be like, "Yo, wait,
what are
what?"
you doing?
Like,
Yeah,
yeah, where why do you have that? You know what I mean? This is just another. I mean, let's talk about the parents for a second. Like, it.
I,
I
I,
understood them, but at the same time, it was just like, man, they don't understand her. You know what I mean?
yeah, I think again, I don't know a whole lot about that culture. I just know that
Hmm.
the parents from the parents in that particular culture could be pretty hardcore, you know.
Yeah, that's
For
something
in a lot
we'll
of
talk
different
about for
reasons,
sure.
in a lot of different places. But uh, I definitely understood where they went with, you know, how they felt and like why they felt that
Hmm.
way. Um, Especially when she was like, yo, if it was my brother asking, you wouldn't flinch an eye, you know, like that. That was
Yeah,
like, I mean, she's not lying, like, but like,
yeah.
uh, that was, I think they did hit that right in the button. Um, and then her friend, her computer nerd friend who like knows how to build stuff, that's pretty cool too.
Yeah, he was
Um,
dope.
I wonder where he's gonna come into play here, in the
He's gonna
show.
be
I
the guy
wonder.
behind the chair.
Yep.
The guy in the chair.
Um,
Speaking of guy in the chair, this show gave me super Spider-Man vibes. Like, oh my goodness, like the vibes were so
mhm,
Spider-Man like adjacent. It was crazy. Like the the whole being in school,
mhm,
the high school kid coming into powers. You know, that's just it's hard to get into those type of situations and not think of Spider-Man.
yeah,
And this definitely capitalized on a lot of those vibes that we've seen from
mhm,
like just the MCU trilogy, I guess we can call it, of
yeah,
Spider-Man, of Peter Parker, being able to see a more not just humanized but a more relatable character, you know.
mhm. There was also like on that note. Speaking of that, uh, in terms of how origin stories go, I think this was a pretty good first episode as like kind of her origin as like, you know,
Mhm.
we got to learn who she was, how her family was, what her background is, how she feels about things. She is being bullied by
Mhm.
a girl who later on even idolizes her when she has her powers. They couldn't tell who it
Simulator
was.
Spider-Man.
Very similar to Spider-Man, and I think that played out really good. Another thing that I noticed that I wasn't sure if they, I think this is something we know, uh, but does she have a thing for girls? Because at one point
Ooh.
she meets someone, Kamala Khan. She meets
Mm.
someone, and I caught a vibe there, but I wasn't sure if that was something that we were told to be prepared for
No, I
beforehand
don't believe
or not.
so. No, I don't think
Okay,
so. Because I don't
because
know
I
what
noticed that
you're. Yeah, I don't even
I
know.
noticed it that there was like it was a small like I think she'll be a character that'll come in later on in the show. Uh,
Who was it?
it was a girl. I don't remember her name. It was early on in the episode when after she saw the counselor or before she saw the counselor in this episode. She
Did
bumps
she
into
have the
someone in the hallway.
hijab on?
No, no.
Oh, okay. I don't know
But
that.
that is someone who's kind of like seems like a friend of hers as well.
Yeah, that is
Uh
a friend of hers for sure.
but no, that's something I did notice. I wasn't sure if that was intentional or if that was just like, oh my god, she's a fan, like she wants to be friends. I couldn't tell. But it definitely felt like that wasn't just something normal. Uh
Was it the one that she waved at in the hallway?
I don't know. I'd have to rewatch it.
Yeah, I
Because
have no
I
idea.
rewatched it today. This is my second time watching it. That
Yeah, I
part
just rewatched
specifically,
it
I
too.
didn't get a chance to watch because I was getting something to drink. But I did notice it the first time I watched it,
I
and
got you.
it caught my eye, and I was like, "Oh, I didn't know that was something that we're going with here." And so I was like, "That's pretty cool."
Mm,
I wonder where that's going to kind of go.
yeah. Um. I know in the comics that the whole Circle Q place is like her home base, so it'll be interesting to see
Oh,
how
the
that
gas
works
station.
out.
Spot?
Yeah. Well, the corner store where
Yeah,
her
I don't know
friend
his
works.
name.
I can't think of
Yeah,
his name, but he lives and works there, and I'm pretty sure my guy's lives there alone. And
I think
it
he
seemed like
is.
I don't think he has parents or anything like that.
They did
I'm
talk
pretty sure
about
they
him not
also
having
even talk
parents.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um.
Um.
No, but pertaining to him, what was up with how fast the mom put that meal together for him, yo? Like it was like 10 seconds flat, bro. Like she walked back and then turned around with like four
He was like,
Tupperware
"How do you do
containers.
this?
She
Don't
was like,
question the ways of
technology
a
is
mom."
your
Yes.
thing. This is my thing. Like, you feel
Yeah.
me? I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Magic? Is she magic too? That just gave me super Agatha Harkness vibes. Like when I saw it, I was like, yo, what in the
Yeah.
world? That super
And
reminds me
maybe
of Agatha.
that'd be kind of crazy if she is, right? She secretly has powers and she doesn't use them. Uh, or that's the only reason she uses them, like, but no one can see, you know?
One thing
Um,
that I saw online was people saying maybe the energy thing that went over her was the MCU's version of like the Terrigen Mist.
mhm.
And I was like, oh, that would actually be pretty interesting. So they can still make her an inhuman. And then when she goes to like that like upside down place, that is like her seeing. I mean, that was just crazy in itself with all the glowing
Yeah,
eyes and everything. Yo, I was like, like
I
we're
didn't notice anything in particular there. I just felt like, oh my god, it's just like her own
there's definitely
uh
someone that looked like the Watcher to me.
afterlife, possibly. Like, so very similar to like what happens in Black Panther,
Mm,
kind of. That's the kind of the
yeah,
vibe that I got, especially with the color scheme. Um, But that was a cool moment for her, and it was interesting because I was like, "Oh my god, is anyone else seeing this?" And it turns out no one else could see what was happening. And then,
yeah,
uh, when she started using her powers, I was like, "Oh my god, she's gonna hurt someone. She doesn't know how to use this. Like, oh, this is
yeah.
not a good idea. What's happening?" And then, sure enough, what she did caused a lot of damage. But
I like that she absorbs like light in order to like kind
mhm,
of use her energy
yeah,
beam things. That was dope.
yeah. So overall, I think what we get for her powers is pretty cool. I don't know if I would. I don't know if like if she stretched. I don't know how I
Hmm.
would have felt, you know? I
I
think it looked
agree.
I think the way they made it look, the way the color looked, the way it kinda just flowed, just felt
It
better.
it worked. It just worked so good, bro. Because
Mhm,
I think it goes to like what the directors and Kevin Feige were even saying about why they changed it in the first place is
mhm,
because they wanted it to fit more in the place of where we are within the MCU right now. And we're not in the
mhm.
place of Inhumans and mutants. We're just not there yet. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
we're almost there, but we're not there yet. So it's still going to be a little while until we're comfortable with seeing it, I guess, visually. You know what I mean? Uh,
yeah.
and I think another thing with that, though, um, Another thing with that though was that I was really happy about when it came to like what we know about the other type of soups and quote unquote in the
Mhm.
MCU was the post credit scene that we get from this episode, bro, which was the same guy from Spider-Man No Way Home, the same
The
dude that was
investigator, right?
interrogating him. Yeah, yeah,
Okay, I
yeah, the
know
investigator.
I knew he was familiar. I
Yeah.
couldn't tell. Uh, and I also tried to figure out if the logo that we see in the reflection was Shield. It
That
wasn't
yeah,
Shield.
no, that's what I was about to say as well. And so not only do we get that, but we get the main thing that I've been looking forward to. That I was like, come on, this is the main thing that I wanted: damage control in
Yeah.
this show, yo. So we
Yep.
have
It
another
was like,
strand of being able to see the DODC, which is
yeah.
the Department of Damage Control, if I'm not mistaken. That's what
Mhm.
that stands for. And I'm just so happy because that was one of the biggest things that I really wanted, and I've been kind of complaining ever since Spider-Man Far From Home or no Homecoming. I was like, bro, where
Mhm.
is damage control with all of the stuff that's happening? Uh and I'm hoping that we get to see some other type of soup or something like that because it doesn't seem like
Mhm.
we're just gonna be seeing damage control comes in and then they start tripping. But we did see a big sign in the event that said the Sokovia Accords or something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
That might be
if the
part of
damage
the,
control
yeah.
probably has something to do with the Sokovia Accords, which will then have a direct connection to She-Hulk and
Mhm.
her being a lawyer for said soups like Miss Marvel.
Yep.
Because of what she's doing, that would actually be a really cool thing to see. I'm not gonna lie, I would really like that to see Miss Marvel or something like that. It would it's gonna be too bad that we're not gonna see any of. I don't think we're gonna see any characters that we've ever seen before in any
Mhm.
of these shows. You know what I mean? They're gonna be
I don't think we
introducing
are
all
either.
new characters and everything,
Yep.
uh, except for Falcon and Winter Soldier because they brought back the dude from Civil War or the Winter Soldier. Remember, Baron Vought or whatever his name is, the main spy dude. That kept like that's how the movie begins. They're on the boat and he finds them and they
Oh, yeah, the
yeah.
fighter guy. Yeah, the fighter.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they brought him back. But it would be just cool to see something like that happen. I'm happy we're going to be able to see more characters, and I think we're going to see Miss Marvel really do her thing in this show, bro. We started off like feet on the ground sprinting in
Mhm.
this series so far, So I'm pretty sure it just feels like we're gonna really get into it quickly.
Yeah. Um, I think going back to, her parents and, like, her family, man, what do you
Hmm.
think her grandma, because her grandma definitely has had powers in the past who make, because like her mom mentioned something like, yeah, we come from a family of daydreamers. I don't know if that
Hmm.
kind of comes into play, but her mom definitely knows something uh
Yeah.
that I don't think she wants Kamala to know about, because I think she
Mm.
understands how her daughter is and knows that if she did know, that's the route she'd want to go. uh but her grandma has to be have been a hero in the past, right? I mean, there's no way. I
I
know she
think
has like
if
a
she
whole
wasn't,
family of superheroes in the comics and stuff like that, but I don't
I think
know
if
if.
she wasn't a hero, that would be okay. But I'm pretty sure she's gonna be. It's just like another form of some type of cosmic um being or entity. Like maybe they
Mhm,
have been just the watchers of those cosmic band type of
mhm,
things, for the whole time. Maybe they don't know where it came from. I'm still very, very heavy on my Shang-Chi and this thing kind of being connected theory. Like that's
mhm,
one of I just can't get over it how even the energy looks and kind of how it works when the users have them basically. Just the whole way that it extended on her arm and the way that the the it was engraved, I guess you can say. It all just gave me so much
Hmm.
like ancient tech vibes that
Yeah.
we got from Shang-Chi's 10 Rings as well. And it just
Hmm.
feels like even with what's bruh's name? The Sorcerer Supreme. Wong. What
Hmm.
even what Wong said, he was like, this energy source, we can't really trace it or anything like that. And but it seems to be calling out to something. It just would make the most sense to me that there would be multiple things that are calling out to whatever that entity is in the universe. Uh
Hmm.
and I think that would just also connect to what we were talking about earlier from the directors and the Kevin Feige talking about is it fits where we are
Yeah.
in the MCU right now. Having these 10 rings and then the whatever that band is that Miss Marvel is now holding, having them have some type of connection to whatever entity it is, it allows Marvel to, get a little bit more leeway, bro, and get a little bit more room into what we're going into with Miss Marvel and the Marvels and Photon and all of the stuff, like everything is about to get
Hmm.
real crazy in the MCU. And I feel like
Yeah.
there's no better way than connecting it with this. Um, Making Shang-Chi more of a cosmic type of character, especially with the level of power he has, it just makes the most sense. You know what I mean?
Hmm. I know one of the other things we also talked about was how this device could potentially come from the Eternals. Might have been something
Hmm.
that they made back in the day. Um, I think it could also be. I think going back to the Charge of Mist. I don't know if it might because like again, the MCU hasn't really talked about how they're going to utilize that if they're going to utilize it at all. Um, but we know Black Bolt is in the MCU, so Inhumans are a thing. Uh,
Yeah.
how they choose to go about that, though, I don't know because they still haven't said anything about Agents of Shield. Is that going to be canon after that? Like all that stuff still has yet to
Yeah.
be said. But I'm sure this show will hopefully kind of uh, reveal that to us. And then another other thing
Mm.
that we noticed that we had talked about before was that um, did what Scarlet Witch what Scarlet Witch did in New Jersey, in the little town that was in New Jersey, did
Yeah.
everyone there come out normal or did they become Inhumans? That's also something that we're not aware of yet.
Yeah.
But that's also the other thing that we talked about was like, oh, maybe she was in the town when that happened, but that's not the case. Um, but I don't know. I'm really excited to see
Especially because with Monica
what happens,
Rambeau
man.
and when she went through that
Yeah,
portal or
because she
whatever,
got
it
affected.
definitely changed her. But what we did talk about when we were first doing those watch parties and all of that, when we watched it, was that Monica broke the door off of the tank before she went through her whole mutation process or whatever you would like to call it. So it's interesting to know what was really going on with her even before she went through there and
Yeah, because
got
something
a
was
level
clearly
up,
going on before that too.
because you got to think like it seemed like whoever called her at the end of WandaVision, which we all assume is Nick Fury. It's not like he called her because he just now found out she got powers or anything, maybe he found out that she just now came back as well because of the snap happening in the first place. Oh well, actually, to be honest, my man Nick Fury was gone right now too, to be honest, so he couldn't even have been him really.
Hmm.
I don't think we ever even thought about that because we all just really assumed that it was Nick Fury who called her. But if she had just came back from the snap, and these are all the events that are happening as soon as she's coming back from the snap, the way we see it, you know what I mean, or 6 months after, or however
Hmm.
long after it is, then what is really going on with? Oh no, wait, reverse. It wasn't Nick Fury that got snapped. It was Talos because he was a scroll at the time. So maybe it was Nick Fury that called it.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, I think it'll be interesting. I think maybe if anything, the Terrigen Mist isn't necessarily mist. More of it might be more of like a stone, and I think the stones were kind of used to make the bracelet type of thing, and that's what's kind of going
Mm,
on as well. Or it could be take imbue many different forms. Uh,
yeah.
but I don't know. I was really happy with the way her powers kind of came out. I know you and I were both like, "Oh my god, Green Lantern is horrible." Like we were really hating on
Mm-hmm.
it, And now after watching it, I think we
It
were both
looks good.
pleasantly surprised in how well it kind of plays out
It
for
looks
her
so
for
it
her
looks
character.
it looks so good to me, to be honest. Like I really like it.
Mhm.
And I really like the whole when she was trying to get back in her room, how it just kind of appeared out of nowhere and helped her like do that little step up to get back onto the roof. Um it just seems like we're gonna I don't know. Do you think the grandma's gonna come into the show and kind of explain what's going on? And maybe in the
Well,
next episode, because I know her brother is supposed to
her
be
brother's
getting
getting married,
married and all that stuff.
so
Yeah.
it's
Uh
definitely not too far fetched for her to appear. Because
mhm.
I know that like weddings in that particular culture of that part of the world they're huge. Everyone goes,
Yeah.
so uh, I would assume she'd go, and that's where
Yeah.
she kind of makes an appearance. And I'm sure Kamala will even ask, like, "Hey, yo, grandma, like, what is this?" Which I hope happens. I actually really hope that happens. Uh, with that said, I don't know why her. I don't know how far. Did they say how far out the wedding is?
No. But I'm pretty sure we see the wedding for sure in this it like possibly in the
I
next
think we do
episode
too.
or the episode after because we saw it in the trailer and
Like
it
she was
seemed
getting a
like it was
dress this
pretty
first
early
episode,
on.
and
Yeah. Oh,
uh,
that's true. She
they
was
were
getting a
getting all
dress and
the
I think
they were
that
all getting the final stuff together. I think so. That probably
no,
is
yeah, that
pretty
actually
soon.
makes a lot of sense. Yeah, so it would make sense that it's in the next episode, to be honest, and maybe that's where her other friend comes in as well, going to that wedding and being there with
Mhm.
her, because we haven't seen this episode really focused heavily on the male friend that lives
Yeah,
in the Circle Q, and not too much on the other, I believe, Muslim American friend that was wearing the hijab and because she bet that she would fail the driver's test and then she
yeah,
was there when she got hit in the face with the basketball and she was
that
like,
was
yo, you did that
hilarious.
to her on purpose and stuff, you know what I mean? And so we know that they're friends, but we just haven't seen her talk to her too much. And man, I just have to really like say that we got super finesse from the trailers because the trailers made this show seem like it was not going to be what we got in this first episode, and it might get into that within these next episodes, but I just don't feel like what we saw from the trailers is like I don't think it gave the show justice. I think there's a lot more substance to this show than we thought there was going to be, and even though it is definitely directed towards the younger audience,
Yeah,
it is just as good as like Moon Knight was for the adult audience, though. You know what
yeah,
I mean? Like in that same type of way of it being able to be relatable because it actually anchors to like the mental health, like how like that's what Moon Knight did was it anchored to like the mental health issues and the trauma of just life. You know what I mean? That goes on
yeah.
in a day to day basis, and then this show shows us from a kid's point of view what they're not trauma so much as what's going on with them basic just period, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
I even remember it made me even think about being a kid and being like, oh man, like yeah, I remember that. I remember not being understood, you know what I mean? Like I think we all could
Mhm.
relate to that, and not only that, but we also got to see Kamala being a freaking YouTuber. Like I don't know how much more that could hit home for like just the nerd community like us, you
Yep.
know what I mean? It's like, bro, she's literally breaking down and talking about Avengers Endgame but from her point of view of it being real. Like that's crazy. Like it's awesome, you know what I'm saying? Like and we see her editing the video and putting it all together, publishing it on YouTube, and she only has like 2 subscribers that are her friends. Like, yo, like it's just it just feels really it was just such a feel good episode. And one thing that we were so worried about going into this show was that we weren't going to be able to get those vibes that we got from the video game. But I
Yeah.
think we did. You know what I
I
mean?
think it
I
played
feel
out
like
I think it played out pretty good, man.
we got
I
the fangirl that we kind of were looking for, the
Yeah.
nerd out. We got it. Her room was plastered with Marvel stuff, bro. The same
Mhm.
way Kamala's was in the video game. It just, yeah, it was nice, bro.
Yeah.
It was nice.
Bro, another thing that I just remembered that popped that was in the show that was like, damn, that sucks is when their parents told her no for the you
Mm,
can't go to Adventure Con. You can't go to that party, not understanding what it was.
yeah.
And then
exactly.
later on, her mom comes, "Oh, I made you a costume," and it's like the Hulk, and then her dad comes out as Hulk, and I was like, "No, ah, damn, like that." And then she was like, "No, I don't want to go with you or whatever," and like her dad
her
was just
like
like,
her dad was so heartbroken, bruh. He was so happy. Big Hulk and Little Hulk. Hashtag it, yo. That was so. It
he
was
was
like
so excited, and then she was like,
it,
"No," and he was like, "I think I made my dad
and it
cry."
was
Like,
just so. It was so understandable though because it's like they were just trying to do what they could to make it work on their terms though. And that's
yeah,
what the issue was, you know what I mean? And they don't see that though. And then Kamala doesn't see though that they were trying to at least make it work for her. You know what I mean? There's just so much disconnect and miscommunication when you're a kid like that, my
yeah,
guy.
and
You
then
know what
like
I'm saying?
the mom made it very clear she doesn't trust Kamala.
Yeah.
Like during that whole, I was like, "Yeah, I don't trust you." And then like her dad was trying to be like, "No, yeah, it's not that we don't trust you. We just don't trust other people." And she was like, "No, we don't trust you." And I was like, "Oh my
yeah,
god!"
yeah.
Like they really don't trust her for whatever reason. So
She
because
was like,
it
"You
didn't.
guys don't trust me." She was like, "Yeah, I don't." And the dad was like, "No, we trust
What?
you. We
Yeah,
trust you." She's like, "Nope, we do not trust you at all." I'm like,
you guys
bruh,
are
I
treating
was
me
like,
terrible.
"Yo."
And then like her dad's like, "You're not normal," and she was like, "Oh," and walks away. And he's like, "No, I bet you're special." And I was like, "Oh my god, yo,
Like it was so like, yo, that's what would happen. That's so I could see that really happening in real life. Uh I could see that for sure. I
yeah,
really like this episode. I like this show. Um I freaking loved the Scott Pilgrim esque references because Scott
yep,
Pilgrim is literally one of my favorite movies, maybe in my top 10. I don't know if top five, that's a little spicy, but top 10 for sure. Um,
hmm
and it would just felt so right. It felt like a live action Into the Spider Verse in a way, you
yeah,
know what I mean? Like, and it
hmm
was like, oh yeah, this is like peak comic book style right now. You know what
yeah,
I mean? Like it seems like even when she starts fighting later on, we might see like a POW or something like come onto the screen. Like, bro,
yeah,
this is like peak comic book show right now, and it's really wild the way that they're doing it. It's encompassed all the good vibes of Hawkeye, and then it added to everything that we didn't get from Hawkeye as well so far.
yeah,
And I think it helps us too that we're getting just freshly introduced to Kamala, and it's
hmm
not like we know who she is and we have a hard connection to her. They understood that we had a connection to her through the video games and through the comics, though, and what we had a connection to, they definitely capitalized
yep.
on.
I agree.
Like we said, her powers look good. There was definitely some cheesy moments, but I mean, it was a given because it's a kid show in a way. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? There was definitely some kiddish things. But one thing that I think I said in the watch party was, "This is a Disney show done right." You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like this is what they aspire to do when they did like Kim Possible and live
hmm
action. Like that, they wanted it to be as good as this show is being right now. You know what I mean? We like everything else is always just cheesy, and this
yeah.
hasn't hit that super level of cheese. It almost got there with the counselor dude. Not gonna lie,
That
he was
was
a
pretty.
little, he was a bit much, you know.
Yeah,
I
I
was
was
like,
like,
oh,
bro,
bro,
I hope to God that's not how counselors are right now.
that's exactly
Definitely
what I
not
was
like how my
thinking.
counselors were, but I was like, I hope to God that's not. I mean, I get it, I do, but like, I don't know if that's the strat. Uh,
Yo,
with
crazy.
students, if I'm being honest, as an educator, at least that's how I feel. But uh, the villain, no hint as to who the villain is on this so far. Um,
Mhm.
we definitely know who the big bully is that she has in her life. We understand that damage control has an eye on her now. I don't. I hope my hope is this is not her just running from damage control the whole time, and like
Mhm.
agents who happen to have powers who work for damage control are just after her. Like I don't. I hope that's not the case here.
I didn't even think
Uh,
about that.
but
I don't think that's what it is. It would be really annoying if that's what it was, though. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm hoping it's something more on the lines of like
She gets a legit
the
suit
friend
at some
gets
point.
into, yeah. So I'm hoping like the friend gets into like some trouble hacking something or something like that, and then the dudes are there to find him, or they're there to get Kamala. Maybe they're there to kidnap Kamala, and they're not part of damage control at all. And they're like,
Mhm.
"Yo," and then we find out that there's a freaking black a black market for children that have superpowers, bro. That would be crazy. Like to even find out something like that. Like, oh, we're out here kidnapping all of the kids that have powers so we can build us a little Black Widow like army. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's not outside of the realm of the MCU to have people going crazy like that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But I think any at this point, as long as there's not some other kid that gets like another bracelet that has the exact same power as her and that's ends up being the villain, as long as that doesn't happen, I think we're pretty safe with whatever villain
Mhm.
we do get. What
Okay.
do you think
Or
damage control's role is going to be in this?
just damage control. I think a big part of them is cleaning up and figuring out like what basically like a detective figuring out why super events happen. Like why is there this much
Mm,
damage? Why did these people die? Does these people have to die? Were the superheroes reckless? Are they on the Sokovia Accords? Like I think those are all
yeah.
things that they're responsible for finding out. And when an incident happens, they have to show up and figure out all those things to figure out who's responsible and hold them accountable. And
Yeah,
I think
because
that's what's
it
going
does.
on
It
here.
didn't seem like the Avenger Con. It doesn't seem like the Avenger Con event like would be like something humongous. It's not like heck of
Yeah.
people died or anything like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
One girl fell, almost got hurt, but Kamala saved her, and they really like sprang into action like something was wrong. So it just begs to question like, is it that big of a deal right now for vigilantes or anything like that? Anyone with superpowers to not be on the Accords? Like we've only seen it from the Avengers point of view of not being able to just act right away with
Yeah.
anything that's going on, right? But right now it seems like any type of show of an ability is, possibility of you getting arrested. It kind of seems like, or at least questioned and detained. And I'm not gonna lie, it makes me really think about like X-Men, like and how things were with them with when it came to them being mutants and how bad and
Hmm.
hard everyone was on them because of the fact that they were different as well. And then the
Hmm.
governments was trying to like, you know, freaking experiment on everyone.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see if we get like a detainment center and we get to see a whole bunch of other vigilantes or something like that we will get to see in
Hmm.
She-Hulk or something. I think that would be awesome.
I think the other situation that we could potentially see is that her friend uh messes with the bracelet, and maybe the bracelet somehow corrupts him, and he becomes the villain somehow, without having to have a bracelet. Um,
Mhm.
but I know during the trailers and stuff, we see her fighting other people, like other things that we just don't know yet. We didn't see,
Yeah. I'm
and
pretty sure
so
it's those four adults that we see come in. I don't know if you remember, but we see four adults in the trailer at least. And they're like their own like evil team type thing. And they're all dressed in black. And that's like who she's running
I
from
don't know.
and fighting from
Maybe they're
my man
looking for the
said,
bracelet.
"What?"
I was like, maybe I think they're. If that's the case, they're probably looking for the bracelet.
I didn't really think about that. That seems like a very accurate thing that could be happening. Maybe they
That's
because
probably why the
we
grandmother said it to
know
her in the
for
first place.
sure that's true. We know for sure that when anything happens that pertains to an energy signature going off, it can be read. So that energy signature, that's how they knew that Shang-Chi had the 10 rings. That's how they knew how many snaps happened with Thanos and even where Thanos was because he had created an entire freaking planet for himself to live on and have a farm. And then he also destroyed the stones. So they saw all of those energy signatures going on. Uh, with both snaps, I think there was an energy signature as well. So it's not out of the possibility that one of these people have some type of energy signature, or one of these groups or multiple groups like power broker type style, and all of these people have access to technology that can read these energy signatures. I don't think that's
Yeah.
something to be like, oh my god, that's crazy. You know what I mean? I think it's very possible. And so if they're looking for a certain energy signature, maybe they could be like, oh, yo, let's follow it here. Maybe that's just what they're doing. They don't know what it is, but they do know that it's an energy signature. I would like to see the grandmother though be like, yo, I didn't even know you were gonna put it on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You were not supposed to do that. It was just supposed to go into the attic. Oh
Mhm.
no, people are coming to murder you.
Yeah.
But
And
you
I think
talked about her. My bad. Go ahead.
I think I think that thinking about it, probably is the bracelet that they're after, assuming that's what the,
Mhm.
like if there even is a villains. But like you said, if there are a group of four that have an axe to grind for whatever reason, I think it's the bracelet's the reason. Um, and I think the grandmother either was under attack or knew, bless you, or
Thank you.
knew that people were looking for it and had to get rid of it and mailed it out with
Mm.
to them. And I think at the wedding, that's when the villains are going to crash. The wedding, and she's going to have to expose herself like with the powers. Her mom's going to see it, grandmother's going to see it.
Oh,
Uh, and they're going to be like, okay, crap, someone's now in possession of said bracelet that we are after. We have to rethink our strategy here. Assuming
that's a good point though.
Kamala knows how to use them. Obviously, she kind of like was just kind of doing stuff with it, not really
We're
knowing what.
definitely gonna see a hero montage in the next
Yeah,
episode.
like with her scientific friend, they're
Mhm.
definitely going to be on the rooftop or something, practicing, training, figuring out how it works. So,
Yes.
I'm looking. It's going to be very Flash like if you like in the CW, how like
Oh
they're
yeah.
like experimenting with what he can do, what he can't do. I think that's going to be something that we're going to see here.
Man, I didn't even think about that. I remember the Flash vibes, early Flash Day vibes. Such a good time, especially seeing it start from Arrow and then spin off into its own thing. Mm. Yeah, that was awesome. Early Flash days were great.
Mhm.
Um, but you had mentioned her costume, right? And then it had me thinking about how Miss Marvel was able to change her costume colors and stuff from her wristband thing. And
Yep.
maybe that's something Kamala has the possibility to do with her thing, if that is connected to the same type of technology, the way
Yeah.
we were saying it is a possibility for it.
Secretly Kree.
Yeah, exactly. Secretly some Kree technology. And we know that the Kree are the ones that created the Inhumans in the first place as well. You know what I mean? So we're all in the realm of possibility, especially because we know the Marvels is going to contain not only Miss
Yeah.
Marvel and Photon, but also Captain Marvel, and them being whatever they're going to be doing, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that having her stuff tie back to Captain Marvel, the best way to do that is with Kree technology or some type of thing like that. Uh, like we were talking about earlier, those purple people with the eyes, yo. Like I don't know, we haven't seen really anything like that
Yeah.
in the
I'll
MCU
have to go
before.
back
We've seen
and
the ancestral realm in Black Panther. It was purple, but the people, you could see the people though. No matter
yeah.
all of the realms that we've been through, you can see what the people look like. But in this case, they were just purple
I'll have to go
figures.
back and pause because it happens so fast. It was really difficult to get a good look to see what happens. But I know
Let me find
for
one.
sure I wasn't able to make out anyone specifically.
I
Um,
definitely saw someone that looked like the Watcher on my second watch through.
yeah.
Like he had like the head shape, and he had like
Mhm.
the little the yeah, it was the whole thing, yo.
Yeah, because if anything, I think the only thing that I noticed was like, oh my god, bunch of little baby watchers. Uh, just from like how we looked in like What If, like when it was just kind of like a cloud. Like, oh my god, like, oh okay. I don't know if that's means anything, but it could be everyone who's used the bracelet. I don't know. It could be like her
That's kind of what I was
ancestors.
thinking too.
Um,
Every
I'm not
person
too
that's
sure.
used the bracelet, Avatar style.
Yeah. Uh, but I don't know, man. I think what this show's done so far is exciting. I think it's going to be interesting. I don't think it'll drop the ball. Hopefully, I say that to every show. But I have a good feeling about this one. I think it set up her story perfectly at this point. Um, and I'm excited to see tonight's episode. I think it's gonna be great.
Yeah, I agree for sure. Um, there we go.
We saw.
See,
Oh, also we heard another zombie reference.
we
In
did.
this episode. I don't know if
Captain
that's.
Marvel, zombie Captain Marvel.
Yeah, I don't know if this is potentially another zombie reference. Maybe a Vision, possibly.
Yeah, bro, but it just looks really interesting. Like they don't look like the scrolls, but if you see this dude right here, see this was
Yeah.
like Loki looks like the Watcher right here. Um, but I don't know, man. And like, look, there's people all back here as well. Hmm.
Interesting. Yeah, other than that, I don't really see anything that pops out. Are they moving as she's moving through that as well, or are they just standing still?
I think they're all standing still.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know, man.
And some of their eyes are glowing and some of them aren't. I didn't even realize that until right now. I don't know why that is. But like everyone on this top row right here, none of their eyes are glowing. And then right here, this dude's eyes aren't glowing. None of the people in the back eyes are glowing. Only some of them are.
Okay, okay.
It's very possible for it to be like some type of the way this looks, it makes it look more like alien technology because it definitely looks like there's some type of planet in the background over here or something.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, this is solid.
Yeah.
It looked great too.
Yeah, like you said earlier, man, this episode, like visually, looked really good. There was only a few spots that didn't look too great. Um, at first, when she started using her powers, I was kind of like, oh, I don't know, and then like it kind of kept going. I was like, oh, okay, I can go for this. I can go for this.
Yeah.
But the car scene, I know what car scene you're talking about that you brought up earlier though. That looked a little like I don't know why they did that. But they could have
I
gotten an
was
actual
like,
car.
they could have gotten an actual car and did this. Why did they do that?
Mm-hmm.
And it was hilarious when she crashed the car into the driver's
Oh, I don't think anyone
car,
saw
bro.
that, and he was like,
It's my car.
"That's my car." And I
Like, why would
was
she
like,
even say that? Like,
I was like, "Yo," but
not even a good thing to say.
I'm trying to think. Is there anything else that popped
Oh, we
out?
saw Moon Knight in the beginning Marvel Studios logo.
Oh,
Now,
really?
yeah, Moon Knight and
Ooh,
Doctor Strange are both Doctor Strange from Multiverse of Madness. They were added to the Marvel Studios intro logo, and I think something else was added to that, and I can't remember right at this moment.
okay.
But I think it was something else.
I'm trying to think. I think that's
And so they know about everything in the MCU as well. They know about that's one of the biggest takeaways that I think we get from this for me,
mm-hmm.
as well as damage control. But we definitely get to know that everyone in the entirety of the MCU that lives in New York or anything, like I wonder if aliens know how in depth everything happened as well on other planets. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? Like that'll be something interesting to see from these other cosmic shows. Is everyone aware of what's going on now? Like, does everybody know that Thanos did it, or is it like because of how Earth works? That's why it's so widespread and known.
yeah,
And just that fact alone, once again, brings us back to our thing that we always talk about, that we need to have a little bit more continuity going through this MCU stuff of, hey, there was a giant freaking hand sticking out of Earth over here, and just different things like that. Another one, bro, check this out. Another one that got brought to my attention recently that I completely forgot about that happened was Ego, the living planet. He had his plants all over the world, all over the universe,
that's
and
very
they
true.
actually erupted and went off, and people died from that. Like that really happened, yo. And they stopped it for sure, but it still happened. And we haven't even heard a wink of anything like that happening before. So
Yeah, and maybe I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. Maybe shield or sword or damage control. Hid that so well. I don't know. That's actually something I completely forgot about that. That's
Bro, I
crazy.
totally forgot about it.
That's how like that's crazy, bro. Unless there's
Like
another. I don't know.
another instance of just you can't just have heroes doing whatever and it not affect the world that you're trying to also create in the
Yeah,
long run, you know.
yeah,
So hopefully we see a little bit more um I damage control. You know what I mean? Like in realistic, like give us a damage control show or something like that to where we get to see oh no, all of these events are actually happening in the MCU because right now it doesn't really feel like it, you know?
yeah,
Uh even Doctor Strange and Spider-Man No Way Home, they don't really feel like, you know what I mean? That's it doesn't really feel like it's connected the same way. I don't know, it's a really weird place that we're in, but I do understand that it's cuz of the delays and COVID and all of that type of stuff. Big understanding there. So hopefully we do get a better, more cohesive and a solid MCU going forward.
hmm
And I think it starts with this show, to be honest, because this
yeah.
is really good. Like it's really good for the first episode.
As far as what I think happens next, man, for this tonight's episode,
Hmm.
I think we're gonna get the wedding.
Yeah,
I think because there's only 6 episodes, so we're gonna have to get the ball rolling here. I think we're gonna get the wedding. I think she's gonna experiment with her powers with her best friend. With that said, I don't know what type of punishment she's gonna possibly see from her mother. Uh, maybe see the villain pop up at the wedding. I don't know. I don't know how fast they're gonna want to get that ball. If anything, by episode 3, we have to have a villain, right? I mean,
yeah.
it has to be.
I think by the end of the next episode, we probably are gonna need. No, I think episode 3 is good to introduce the villain because the next episode. Well, you can continue. My bad. You can continue.
Well, no, that's about it. That's what I was
Oh,
saying.
okay.
Like,
Uh, yeah, because I think damage control is going to take a really big role in the next episode and possibly the next 2 episodes, leaving us like what I'm thinking is the next episode to take a big role. Episode 3, they'll have like a minute role, and then we're going to be introduced to the villain that they're looking for, and then we'll have 4. Then we'll have like 5 and 6 really be the climax type of
yeah,
episodes that we need them to be. Uh, but as far as next episode though, I'm really thinking we're gonna start the episode with boots on the ground from damage control and see that shot that we see from the trailer when we see like 4 people pulling up in trucks and then they all get out and start walking into a building. I think we see it from like upside down for some reason. I think that's going to be like the first shot that we see most likely in the episode. uh and I'm really happy we got a post-credit scene, by the way. Just need to put that out there real quick. Been
yeah.
so long since we got a post-credit scene from a
As it
Disney Plus
has.
show. And not to mention one that paid off and felt so good to have. Like my man, oh yeah, he knows
They
he's
weren't
there.
just
He's there.
trolling with us today. Uh,
Hmm. Like he knows. Well, no, I guess he doesn't know Spider-Man now because technically everyone that knows Peter Parker doesn't know him anymore. So never mind about that. But it's just really uh um awesome. Fresno nerds, what's up with it, yo? When I said hashtag growers love, yo, what's up with it?
yo, how's it
Fresno
going?
nerds, how you guys doing? Um, yeah, bro, and I just think damage control is going to take a pretty big place, and then I think we might even see the villain get introduced. No cap, I really do think we might see a villain get introduced. If not at the end of this episode, it'll be like at the beginning of the next one. But I'm really thinking like by the end of it, we're gonna see someone crash that wedding or something
Yeah,
like that. Because I feel like that video is gonna go viral, crazy viral to where people are like, yo, we need to find out who that is or something like that. The
yeah.
same way that damage control is doing. And I don't know if it's gonna be like a race to get Kamala type of thing, because that would be cool. But I don't know. My man Fresno Nerd said, I missed the post credit scene.
Oh
Gotta go
no,
back
yeah. Those are
and
post credit
watch.
scene, man.
LOL. Oh yeah, you gotta watch that. It's a solid one too. One of the best, one of the best post credit scenes that we've really had since like we saw no,
Hawkeye.
because that wasn't even a did we get a post credit scene from Hawkeye?
It was the play.
Oh yeah, that was terrible. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
been
it
the
was.
best one because the last good post credit scene we got
Oh, okay.
was
Probably
what?
Shang-Chi.
No, I mean Disney Plus show. Was it? Did we get a good one from Falcon and Winter Soldier? I think we did, right? Oh no, that's when we found out Homegirl was the power broker.
Yeah.
Loki, I think that was it. Because after that, I think at the end of that, that's when we saw Kang's statue in the TVA, and then we saw Brad talk. What was his name? I can't think of his name, but the main guy, the main cop dude, the main TVA agent.
Morbius.
Yeah, Mobius. Yeah, that's where
Mobius.
we
Yeah.
saw Mobius. And he was talking to someone else, and it was like, "Yo, wait, hey, you, what are you doing here?" Like
Yeah.
that was a solid one. And then this one was great, and I hope we get more. I hope it's not just like this first episode and we don't get another one. I'm hoping we get another one for each episode, kind of giving us a little bit to. I
Hmm.
mean, it makes it so much more worth it for people like us who don't watch the weekly trailers,
Yeah.
because those weekly trailers definitely do give more for people to look forward to. But for us, just getting that little bit at the end of the show, it makes it worth it for me not to have to check out these trailers that pop up and are definitely spoilery as hell when it comes to the next things that are coming out.
Yeah, man. Overall,
Mm-hmm.
if I was to rate this episode, man, I honestly don't know where I'd want to put it. I definitely am having a little hard. I would maybe a 4. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I can't give it higher. I'm being honest, because it had the dialogue, it had the character development, it had the world building that we've always wanted. Had an
Mm-hmm.
end credit scene. The music was cool. The vibe was cool.
Music
Uh,
was really great.
I think uh, I think I just would have wanted more context as to what to look forward to moving forward. In terms of like
Mm.
like who's the like what's the problem that we're gonna face this
Yeah.
show. And obviously, I think it's more of something that we just have to wait and see as we get move forward. But overall, I'm thinking of 4. You know, and I think the show is going to be great. I don't think it's going to disappoint like some of the other ones have disappointed us.
For
Uh,
real.
but how are you feeling about it?
I feel like a 4 is a safe way to go, but I'm gonna give it like a good 4.5 because I really enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I was going to. I really thought I was gonna have a bad time with this. Like I almost just because of the visuals with all of the like Scott Pilgrim esque things that were
Yeah,
a great time with that. We were gonna have her get her really didn't think we were going to get the villain in the first episode. So I guess I'm kind of like be excited about what we got so far because it,
yeah,
it already gave me way more substance than I thought we were going to get from this first episode. I definitely thought we were going to spend time with her just being a teenager throughout the entire episode, and it was going to get really boring and
yeah.
lame. And guess what? We spent our entire time with her being a teenager, and it was awesome. Like it was a great time. Like I had a good time with her. I had a good time with the parents really trying their hardest to like love her and be there with her and all this stuff. Like, bro, I had such a good time with
Oh
this
yeah,
episode. And it really surprised me. Like, I can't even lie. I was super surprised that I liked it so much. Like, even while I was watching it, I just kept saying, like, bro, I'm having such a good time right now. This is crazy. I was really absorbed in the whole MCU. And it was the first time that I felt like I was in the MCU in a really long time, to be honest. Like I haven't felt like I was inside of the MCU. Like, bro, I can't even remember since when. Like, to be honest, like really, it's probably been since Spider-Man Far From Home. That's really the last time I felt like I was in the MCU.
yeah,
Because we had so much graffiti and showing love to everything that happened with the end game and had the teachers talking about everything and all of that. You know what I mean? Like all of that stuff that happened in Far From Home was the really for me the last time that I felt like I was in the cinematic universe. But
yeah.
then today, like with the show, it was like, oh my god, like bro, I'm in the MCU right now. Like I'm experiencing the MCU. seeing all those nerds and stuff dressed up as like Thor and Iron Man, and it just felt so just, bruh, it felt right. You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
felt rewarding, I think, is the best thing to say. It felt
Mhm.
rewarding to be a nerd and have paid attention to all of the stuff that's happened in these other shows before. So I think a 4.5 is really a solid one to go with, because it was insane how good of a time I had the
Yeah.
whole way through. Um, and Fresno says I was wary to watch this myself, but I really enjoyed it more than I thought I would. Yeah, exactly, yo.
Yep.
My man said cinematics were excellent and the intro was amazing. The intro was awesome. I mean, she even drew Pepper in her Iron Man suit that she had
Yep.
on. You know what I mean? Like she knew basically every detail of what happened with Endgame, and it showed her even hunting for those Easter eggs, listening to the entire podcast that my man Ant-Man had to find out every detail possible, and then she basically recreated it and drew it all herself. The same battle, like, bro, you can't hit home closer to a nerd than that. You know what I mean? Like it just
Mhm.
doesn't, especially for being the like YouTubers like that as well, that are literally doing the same thing that she was doing right now about her. So
Mhm.
it's it's awesome. I had a great time, and I cannot wait for tonight's episode. I will be highly upset and disappointed if I will be highly upset and disappointed if they drop the ball with this show. Like, I will be freaking livid, bro. I might pass out because I will be like going off that way, because you guys will see an hour video of me
Yo.
just going off the whole time. I can't believe they dropped the ball like this. Like, bro, what's going on?
Mhm.
My man Fresno said hashtag nerds rule. Yo, like I always say, what a time to be a nerd,
You already
yo,
know, man.
because it gets just getting funner and just better and better and better. Uh I really also liked, like, I know you said this earlier, but I really liked how we got to see a little bit of what Captain Marvel like has kind of been doing in her off time, bro. Like, that was such a, like, she was like, oh, she left the planet, but who knows what she's been doing, and she's
Yeah.
probably been saving the world, and
And
she's
that's
like
something that you and I
carrying
were
an
talking
alien.
about a lot before going, like, multiple times as well.
Mm-hmm.
But hopefully, Miss Marvel will kind of, or the Marvels will kind of get that information to us. Because it's a show, right? Or is it a
Ooh.
movie? No, it's a movie.
uh no, yeah, it's a movie.
Okay, okay, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
hopefully in
it's a
there we'll
movie.
kind of learn more about her background, what she's been up to, what she's been doing. Um, I think it's gonna be great, man. Overall, the show makes me excited. I'm pumped to see what they do. Uh, hopefully they don't drop the ball. Uh,
Yeah, bro. Because like we've seen with like shows like Kenobi and Boba Fett, it is really easy to drop that ball if you don't get it right. But I think we're in a safe space. We
I
went
think
in
we are too.
expecting a kids show, and we've got a teenage show instead, right? Like, I think that's like a young adult show almost. It's
Mhm.
in the teenage young adult area, uh, and I'm having a great time, and I cannot wait for what holds in tonight's episode.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree, man. But with all that being said, I think that about brings it to the end for us. Uh, Before we head out, though, please make sure to follow us on all of our social medias at Marvel Bros on our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, and our YouTube channel where we post some of our content and much more.
That is right. And if you guys didn't know, memberships are now active on the channel. By becoming a member of our YouTube channel, you have access to member only badges, channel emojis, and other special perks to help show your love and support to the super fam. We appreciate all of the support from everybody. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and make sure you tune in tonight when we're going to be watching Miss Marvel, and then tomorrow when we watch Obi-Wan. So it's going to be, and then we have the boys this week as well. It's going to be a jam-packed week of an amazing stuff here on the channel. We appreciate all you guys for tuning in with us on a awesome episode of Marvel Bros and another. Well, this was like one of our really first open discussions and reviews, and we hope to see you guys on the next one. Much love to you, Fresno. My man said, "Keep up the good work, dudes." Much love.
Peace.
Excelsior.
To support Marvel Bros, all you gotta do is visit our website at www.marvelbros.com and buy some merch. Represent the super fan.
Or you can join our Patreon to get early access to content, patron-only scoops, giveaways, private Q&As, and those sacred watch parties.
We appreciate you guys. We'll catch you on the next one.
Excelsior.
On today's pop culture news update.
And on today's pop culture news update,
On today's pop culture news update.